Hi guys, welcome once again to another interesting tutorial. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts on the comment section. Enjoy. Coming down for my guideline. So I'll mark for the neck width. I'll be making use of neck width of 4 inches. Then neck depth 4 inches. Then I'll connect it. Then I'll mark my shoulder divided by 2 plus half inch to join the sleeve. So I'll mark it here. I'll be coming down for my chest. My chest, I'm going to make use of 10 inches. Then I'm just going to mark for my vertical measurement. Then I'll come down for my bust. Shoulder to bust is 12. Shoulder to under bust is 16. Then shoulder to half length is 18. For the front, I'm going to use 18 and a half. Then I'll add half inch to join it to the down part. Then when I want to cut for the back, my shoulder to my half length is going to be 18 inches. I'm going to make use of 17 and a half for the half length, then plus half inch to join it to the down part, which is 18 inches. Hope that is clear. So I'll make this to a straight line. So these are the line here. So this is my waist, my under bust line, then my bust line, then the chest line, right? So these are all my lines. So the next thing I'm going to do on this shoulder here, I'm going to be coming down 1 inch from my shoulder slope. Then I'll go up half inch to join it to join the shoulders to the back, right? On my neck width, to also go up half inch this way, and I'll connect it. So this is it. I'll be marking the midpoint from the slope to my chest, and the midpoint of this is 4.5. I'll be coming in 0.75, and I'll connect my armhole curve. So this is it. I connect it to the chest line, right? So now I'll be inputting my nipple to nipple divided by 2 plus half inch to join the panels when I cut it. So I'll connect this line straight to my chest. I'll connect this line straight to my bust line. So this is it. I'll be marking for my dart intake. I'll be coming in half inch. I'll mark half inch this way, then I'll be going out 2.5 inches this way. So I'll connect it straight with a straight ruler from the waistline to my under bust. So that's it. Then I'm going to be using my curving part of my ruler to connect the under bust to my bust line. I'll place my curve ruler this way. I'll connect these two. So this is it, right? So now I'm going to be coming to the chest line here. On the chest line, I'm going to be going up 1 inch, right? Then I'll connect it straight with a straight ruler this way. Then I'm going to be marking on this chest line here. I'll connect this nipple to nipple up, the line up to now 1 inch that will come up, right? Then on this part here, I'm going to be coming in half. I'll come in 0.75. I'll come in 0.75 this way. Then I'll be going out 1.25. In total, I have 2 inches dart intake here, right? So I'll use my curve ruler to connect it to this. Then I also place this and connect it up this way. So this is my dart intake. So we'll replace all these darts here. So we'll mark on the chest line here. I'm going to be marking. So I'll first start on this line here, right? So this dart intake that we have here, I have 2 inches. So from this curve line, I'm going to mark the 2 inches out this way. So when I cut this panel out, I'm going to be adding half inch. I will need 1/2 inch here, half inch here to join these two panels together. That's 1 inch, right? So I'm going to replace, I'll be adding half inch to this. So here I have 2 inches that's intake. I'll replace it, then I'll add half inch to that. So that's 2.5 inches. I'll mark it here this way, right? Then I'll come to the chest line. I'll mark my bust circumference divided by 4 is 11.25. I'll mark it here this way. Then I'll measure the dart that pass through here on this chest line, which is 1.25. I'll replace it here this way. Then I'll add my sizing allowance of 2.5 inches. In order to blend this, so I'll be having a new armhole curve here. So I'll connect this straight down this way, then I'll blend this into the line this way, right? So just smooth it up this way. So this is our new armhole curve. So now I'll come to my waist. I'll be marking my waist circumference divided by 4, which is 9.5. I'll mark it here this way. Then I'll mark this dart intake here of 3 inches. I'll replace it here. Then I'll add my 2.5 inches for sizing here. And I'll connect it up this way. So that's it. Then on this part here, I'm going to be going up 1 inch. So this 1 inch is going to be, the front panel is going to be longer than the back panel with 1 inch. So I'll remove it here this way, then I'll connect it to the dart leg this way. So this is the line that we are following. I'm going to be marking for the yoke, right? So on my waist here, I'm going to be coming in 0.25. I'll mark it here this way. Then on this chest line here, I'm going to be marking 1.5 inches. I'll use my ruler to connect it this way. So that's it. Then I'll be using my curving part of my ruler to connect this way. I'll blend it to meet this dart this way. Hope that is clear. So this is what we are. So from here like this is our yoke, right? So we'll be cutting this panel out. So this, I'm going to be cutting on my lace. I'm going to be cutting this part here folded, right? This part is going to be cut on fold. Then I'll add 1/2 inch on this area here to join it back, right? I'll add 1/2 inch here. Every other part has been considered. So I'll be adding 1/2 inch here when I'm cutting it on my lace. So let's cut this out. So this is what I have. So we've already considered the seam allowance to join this bar. So I'm going to cut this on my fabric, right? Then I'll be adding 1/2 inch this upper part here. So I'll cut it on my fabric, then I'll come back to show you. So this is what we have. So guys, this is the pattern after cutting it on my fabric. Then I also cut my lining alongside with it. Then I added 1/2 inch to this upper part here, right, to join this yoke together. Then while cutting on the yoke, as I've mentioned, this part here is folded. Then I added 1/2 inch on this area, right? Then on this part, this is the center piece, right? So this is going this way. This is going this way. So remember, we have added 1/2 inch while we are drafting this pattern, we've already add half inch to our nipple to nipple measurement, so join these two together, right? So it's just this part here that will be joining to this yoke. That's why I added half inch on this part here. So I'm going to remove my patterns. So here I've also ironed my stay and my wording on them. So this is how the pattern is. So I'm going to be sewing this that line together, placing the right side face each other. I'll sew this, place this right side face each other. I'll sew that. I'll also do the same thing to the lining as well, right? After which we'll be bringing the middle part. The middle, I will open it up, then I'll be placing it on this part here. So this yoke, I cut it on my lace, and I also cut a lining with it that I'm going to be using to close the lace so that it will not be too exposed, right? So let me do all of that, then come back to show you. Guys, after joining the princess line together, this is what I have. You can see it on the wrong side. So I've already joined the princess line together. This is it on this other side. So then I open the net, right? So this is the center piece. So as I've mentioned, I've added half inch, so that means the half inch also reflects here on both sides now to join this together, right? So by the time we join together, this is what we are going to have. So what I will do is that I'm going to be flipping it this way, then I'll be sewing with half inch. As I sew, then I will follow the curve, right? I'll follow the curve this way to meet to this point this way. You can see it here. So I'll do the same thing to this other side as well. So guys, after finish sewing it, I've already sewed the line. This is what I have. So turn it to the wrong side, turn it to the inside. So this is the line that we have used to sew it with half inch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be notching it, right? I will notch it, then I can just iron it, right? Then I will get the lining. So this is the lining. So the lining is going to go like this. So these are the lining to go. So I'm going to sew it. I'll place it this way. Then I'm going to be sewing it on this seam allowance here, right? So I'll place it on this seam allowance here, and I'm going to be also sew it with half inch. Then until I get to this point, and it will be this way. I'll also flip this one this way. Then I'll also sew it on this seam allowance too, right? I'll sew it on this seam allowance here. Then I'll sew it following the curve, right? Then we'll have it this way. So this is it. So sew it that way, then give it a good press, then come back to show you. So guys, I've already finished sewing the lining on it. You can see how neat it is on the inside, right? Then I've also sewed the side. I've sewed the side with my side seam. I've joined the lining to the fabric on the side too. Then this is what I have. Then I've also gone ahead to pipe the neck. So this is what I have right now. So this is all for the front. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to be joining it to the down part. The down part is going to be flay. So guys, here is it. I've already joined it to the down part of my dress. So this is the down part. This is this part here, from the waist area here to this part here is just my normal basic skirt. Then from here I pleat a gathers here. So I have a two layer of gathers. This is the first one and this is the second one. Then I've also hemmed the down part of this layer here. So this is just a very simple part, but if you are a beginner and you are watching this video and you don't understand how to do this, don't worry. I'm going to make another video on this part here of the down part, right? So I have another style that I want to sew that is similar to this. Then I'll be filming the down part in detail, right? So on this tutorial we're only focusing on the upper part. So this is the upper part that we have made, and we have joined it to the down part, and everything I've settled. So I've also fit my zip here already. So this is the zip, right? You can see how neat it is. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to fit my sleeve. So what I did is that at the side, you can see that the side here, I've I have not fully joined it to the sleeve part, because I want to measure it into, I want to measure the sleeve round into the seam allowance because of the way I want to use and join it, right? So now you take a measurement of what you have from here. So you measure what you have from here to this part, what you have from here to this part, then we're going to use that measurement to draft on our sleeve. So I've already measured mine and I have 14 and a half. So on one side 14 and a half, on the other side 14 and a half, right? So remember we have added the seam allowance to it. So now this is what I want to use for my sleeve, and this is my net, that's the lace I want to use for the sleeve, right? I have it folded into four. So this is the folded part. I fold it into two, then fold it into two again, that's into four. So here, this part here is the folded part, and also have the folded part too, and the upper part and this part. But this part here is going to be the center, which is where you are to consider folded, right? So the next measurement I'm going to take now, I'm just going to show you what I've used to block here. So the width of my fabric here, the width is 18.5 inches, right? So starting from the beginning to the end here is 18.5 inches. So this is my 18.5 inches. Then the length, I have 24 inches for the length. So I'm going to be coming down at this upper part here. I'll be coming down for the cap height. So I'm going to make use of inches instead for the cap height. So I'll be doing the armhole shape here, the shape that you have for your sleeve. So you can just connect it this way. From this 6 inches you connect it, following the curve it this way, curve it to the upper part this way. Hope this is fine. Hope you understand. If you don't know how to make this curve, what you do is that just mark the midpoint, right? Then you curve it up this way to the end this way. Then you follow this and curve it to the 6 inches, which is the 1 inch back, to make it the 6 inches this way. Remember I mentioned that I have 14.5 inches, so I'll measure it here. 14.5 inches, so this is it. Then I'll be having some pleats, so I add pleat of 3 inches. Then my seam allowance, then I'll be adding 1.5 inches again. So what I have here, I'm just going to remove some inches away. So this is the 14.5 inches. So what is left here is 6 inches. So this 6 inches, now I'm going to be removing 2 inches because I don't want it to be equal with the down part. I want it a little bit shape, right? So I will remove 2 inches away from here, then I'll connect it to the edge. So I'll place my ruler this way, then connect. So this is what I have after cutting it out. I'm just going to notch the center point of this. And I'll be removing my pin. So because we've cut the two, because we fold it into four, we've already have for the both side. So here we have two already because we cut it into four. All right, so I'll remove one from the other. So you've already notched the center point, so you open it up this way. So this is the center point, right? This is our center point. So if your lace has a lace edge at the down part, you can just leave it that way, but mine does not have. So I'm going to be using my bias to turn the down part. From this down part here, I'm going to measure up 7 inches this way, right? So these 7 inches, I'm going to be I'm going to be sewing this bias on this part here for to insert my to make room for my elastic, right? So I will measure the 7 inches upward, then I'll open my bias this way. I'm going to be sewing all to the, so I'll sew it from the beginning on this line, the 7 inches I will mark up. I'll be sewing my bias here to make room for my elastic, right? To insert my elastic. So I'll sew it to the end. I'll do the same thing to the other side too. Then I'll use my bias to hem this part here. Then I'll come back to show you. So guys, here is it. I've already finished sewing it, and I've also put my insert my elastic on it, right? So this is it on the wrong side. This is the elastic inside. So what you just do, the measurement you need for your elastic is just place it where the sleeve is going to stop, right? Where the sleeve is going to be, place your elastic there, measure it for the quantity you have. That's what you cut. For me, I make use of 12 inches, right? So this is 12 inches. By the time I will close it up, that's include the seam allowance at the side too. So this is what we have now. So the next thing I'm going to do now, I'm going to be attaching it to the made dress, right? So I will get the midpoint. Remember that midpoint that we notch. So this is the right side. And another thing you need to also know too is that I make the bias on the right side of my lace, right? So I'll be going to be placing it at the center point of my dress. So this is the midpoint that we notch. So I'm going to place it at the center point of my dress. So I'll place it this way. So I'm going to go ahead to sew with 1/2 inch, right? I'll be sewing it with 1/2 inch this way, which I'll be placing it, then sew it, then I'll come back to show you. So guys, this is it after I finished sewing it. So I've already finished attaching it to it. So I've also arranged it. So I'm just going to go ahead now to sew the side into the sleeve, right? So just arrange the sleeve too in a way that this elastic casing that I have here, I'll make sure that it matches together this way. Then the edge of my sleeve here, I'll also make sure that it matches together at this point here. So I'm going to be taking the seam allowance from here. I'll sew it with my size seam allowance. I'll sew it to the size seam allowance of my dress. Then I'll continue it to where I stop the losing part, right? I'll sew it into it, then bastille on it. So I'll do the same thing to the other side as well. I've also fixed it. I'll do the same thing to the other side. That's the end of this tutorial. Then I'll show you the final result. So guys, we have come to the end of today's tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you have not. I will see you in my next one. Bye.